Hey, it's James from Finney Electrical. On today's video we're going to be looking at what are the best things that we look for when we're hiring. Let's get into this. So yeah, we're back from France then. So I came back, we filmed 2 episodes in France and we actually lost the GoPro in the car hire. So that was a bit annoying. So between the car hire and the airport, the GoPro went missing. So we got 2 episodes, lost footage missing. So hopefully that comes back to us. But yeah, so since we've come back then, we're looking to take on. So we're interviewing at the moment. So I thought I'd just give a few little tips and just sneak a little video in since we've lost 2 episodes. So just picked up the new GoPro then. So yeah, this is where I grew up then. This is the little field then, that's a school I went to. So my house was there, I used to just walk along there and go up to the school. So in 5 minutes you could be sat in your form group. Yeah, but yeah, this is the cross-country course then, running around these fields up here and then back round. So when we did 2 laps then, we used to just hide in a bush, go home, have like a sandwich or some ham sandwich, and then when the second lap come, you'd join in the end and then try and beat them. So then, hiring. Let's get on to the actual video. Let's get somewhere a bit less windy. Right, so we'll show you our interview process then. So we get loads of applicants through, so we'll just kind of sift through the CVs and make sure that they're right fit first. So for us then, there's kind of 2 ways we're looking for. There's 2 kind of job positions essentially. So the first position then is basically someone who's qualified, who's got loads of experience. You can pay them a good salary because they've got the experience. You can just send them to a job, they'll do the job, do it well, and they can go home. You know what I mean? That's one kind of job category. And then the second position then is someone who's a bit more of a developing role. So it might be someone like the back end of the apprenticeship, they're working away, they just want to work locally, or someone who's just come out of college, finished with the company and wants basically to come on board with the company to kind of teach them a bit more and kind of go deeper into different areas of electrics. So you can tell all that by the CV of the type of work they've done when they've put that on the CV, the different qualifications they've got, the experience in years. You can kind of have a good idea of what the different candidates can do. Yeah, so these are the different bits we look at then. So we look at the scope of work then. So that'd be like what kind of installation they can do. So that's in domestic, commercial, industrial. If they do any testing, if they're quite good at testing, and then you can test them on that knowledge. Fuse boards, if they've got pictures of fuse boards, cable tray, basket trunking. What else we got on here? Fault finding, so that's a big one as well. So I've always found that the electricians who crack under like scenarios probably don't know what they're talking about with electrics. I was interviewing one guy and I was like, right, let's say you get a job through, it's fault finding, it's a domestic job or commercial, and the customer's saying like, we can hear some kind of crackling in, in a light fitting or wherever. What do you think that could be? So yeah, the obvious answer is that it's loose connections. You've got loose connections, you've got arcing, you're gonna hear crackling, it's gonna be audible, something like that. And he's going, it could be a cross polarity, it could be a residual current fault. I'm like, okay. So yeah, if you can kind of like do scenarios, you can test their electrical knowledge and theory, then you can just basically sniff out if people are kind of saying, yeah, we do this, we do that, we do this, and then you give them a scenario where they have to answer, it's either right or wrong, you can soon smell out a rat. So yeah, for me it'd be like on the fault finding, I'd say, right, there's a fault here, this breaker's tripping out, what's your steps, what would you do then? And some people are like, oh, I'd just go around unscrewing every socket and just having a look. It's like, yeah, that's not what you do, by the way, for those who don't know. But yeah, the first thing you should be doing is going in the fuse board, getting your tester out and trying to test or identify which circuit's tripping, and then diving into that circuit. If they're going nowhere near that and they start just going up with random, what should we say, symptoms or explanations, and you know they don't know what they're about, you know. Yeah, so for me that's most of the interview, is just grilling them for a good half an hour, just for different scenarios. Basically how would they carry out installation works, testing works, solar, EV, and just saying, right, let's say we sent you to a job, customer wants an EV charger, what are you going to do, what protections are you going to going to put on the system, what cable you're going to use, how you're going to clip it, what I mean, and then just get them just to tell them the process essentially, what cables they're running, what cores are going where, and they could basically just detail out a full job of, if they knew what they're doing, they'd be able to tell you see. So yeah, that's what I do, is just grill them for a good half an hour. So if they know what they're doing, they just rattle stuff off and you're like, right, this guy is confident, this guy knows what they're doing. And what I do is just write down, so I've got like an area, like I've just got like a notes page, no what shakes, it's got some confidential information on, but just says scope of works and then a list of all the different bits I'm going to be asking them, and then I'll write down, so happy with this, or quite confident with this, needs work with this, needs work with that. And I could soon tell if this person is a developing role or if it's someone who's experienced, so that will determine the wage they get. Yeah, because you don't want a guy that's like, yeah, I've done it for 10 years, and then you start asking him stuff about what he can do, and it turns out he's not very good. So you're that person, you'd be like, well, you've proven to me today that you can only do X, 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 you need help with this, this, this. Therefore, when you come on to wage expectations, you can say, well, someone of your caliber that needs help with this, this, this needs to be a bit lower. Or you could say, actually, you tick all these boxes, I know you're going to be, you sound like you're going to be good. Let's see how you're going to be when we put you on to a job, but yeah, we'll be able to put you on this higher wage because of the stuff you've proven to do. So other stuff we talk about then, so we cover like transport. So some people want to join a company and provide their own car because they get paid more that way, so they get like a pence per mile and a higher wage for that, because obviously if I had to buy a van and fuel it and insurance and all that stuff, it would be more cost to me, so that's worth about 10 grand, you see. What else? Tools, so obviously we provide power tools and stuff like that, but if they want to provide their own tools, again, that can be factored into their yearly wage. But yeah, that's the main point. So it's like scope of works, transport, tools, wage expectation, and that basically covers most things in the interview. So yeah, when you are chatting to them, it'd be worth asking if they want to be on like a subcontracted basis, because that might be an option, and sometimes it's better for business, so if there's no work you don't have to pay them, and you can make a similar amount of money on the first year anyway, if you can keep them kind of with enough work. But if they work for you more than like 6 months, they could have employee rights, you've got to watch for that as well. But yeah, so it's like subcontract basis, or if they want to be on the books, so it's worth just asking the question, just in case there was kind of like teetering on it and they didn't want to be employed by someone because they like working for different people or different areas or whatever. So that is an option. So just best bet's just to figure out what they want. But yeah, from there you've just got to talk about what they should expect from you. So that's kind of the next thing you'd go on to. So there's loads of things that you need to kind of get over to them, what kind of you expect of them. So it'd be worth kind of showing some pictures then, so you can show like the standard of works then. So for us, I don't know, I showed some pictures of some commercial kit outs we've done and some nice neat fuse boards, and just saying, look, this is the type of work we do, this is the quality of work we expect. Yeah, camera died halfway through that. So we'll go on battery 2 that came with it. So yeah, the type of stuff then that they are going to want to know as well is the type of work you do then. So we just talked about like the solar stuff that's that we do, EV, you know, like that commercial kit out we did in up in Stockton with that weird thing that came out the podium, and then the smart home projects, just talked about that, and then the general electrical, because we do some like top end kitchens. Yeah, so that just gives them a nice little spec then of what they can expect then. And then we're basically just going to talk about future projects, so let them know what's coming up in the next 6 months, so they can kind of buy into the company and what's coming up and get looking forward to what they could be doing. So for us, we've got like 2 big smart home projects coming up. We're getting into more commercial solar. So we're going to be partnering up with a guy who used to sell a lot of it and then just went onto the heat pump side. So that should be interesting. So we've got a lot of that coming up. And then basically we've talked about how the company runs, so what their day-to-day life's going to look like. So I said, right, we've got an app, you download the app, job's pinged to your phone, you just press navigate to job, off you go, do the job. So you look at your job sheet, have a chat with the customer and go, right, this is getting installed here, talk to them beforehand, get it checked over, do the work, nice and tidy, hoover up, then grab them after and say, are you happy with the work? Yes, we are, nice one. Take some pictures after and jobs are good and go home. So basically just going through what they'd expect their day-to-day life to look like. So another thing to talk about is wage expectations. So ask them, I mean, what are you expecting wage-wise? And then just stay silent and wait for them to talk. So some of them try and over-egg it. Like we had one guy who was like, yeah, I'm on, I think to the office, said he were on like something like 12 quid an hour or something, £13 an hour. And then to me, he was like, yeah, I'm on like £17, £18 an hour. I was like, oh, right, what, as a employed person, not subcontracted? He's like, yeah, I'm employed at £17, £18 an hour. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm thinking, like, no one could afford that unless it's like really top-end commercial. Plus, I know the office has told me what you told them. Yeah, so don't lie, 'cause it's if I can't trust you in the interview, how can I trust you when you're working for me? You'll just be lying to me then. And there we go. So if you can think of anything, if you are an employer or if you are an employee, I want to know your tips. I want to know what you'd look for if you're going to hire someone, and see if it's any different to me and your hiring process, or if you're looking to get a interview, what you think they're looking for. It'd be interesting to see what you've got to say in the comments. For the business owners then who are taking on, can you afford to take someone on? Have you done the calculations? If you want me to do a video on that, then let me know below. Or message me on Instagram if you want a bit of advice then, see if you can afford it. I've got a big spreadsheet with it all on. It's got all the expenses for everything you can ever think of, and then how much earning potential they've got for the year with a bit of contingency, and that's about it. So if you want me to do a video on that, if you want some advice on that, then contact me on Instagram. Yeah, that's all we've got for time for today then. So if you like this kind of content, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the little bell notifications so you know when we next upload. As always, have a good one from me, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.